Welcome to the World News. I'm Randolf Jamias for Stories Today. Firefighters in Cooma, southern New South Wales, battled to contain several fires, which have been burning for days. Over 80 firefighting aircraft, over 1,000 RFS volunteers, and around 360 fire trucks have been fighting more than 126 bushfires around Cooma. The Rural Fire Service is concerned that strong winds and high temperatures forecast for the next few days could fuel the blazes. Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard and New South Wales Premier Barry O'Farrell announced that 37 local government areas will be eligible for assistance. In another incident, a high-speed commuter ferry crashed into Lower Manhattan's Pier 11 during the morning rush hour on Wednesday, injuring 57 people, two critically, authorities said. The Seastrick Wall Street ferry, carrying 343 passengers and 5 crew members on its morning run from New Jersey to New York City, hit the mooring as it docked at about 8:45 a.m. Wednesday and suffered a gash in its right front side. The cause of the accident was still under investigation by the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board. Meanwhile, a European Space Telescope has captured new images of the huge asteroid Apophis, revealing that the potentially hazardous object is actually bigger than previously thought. Asteroid Apophis has long been billed as a doomsday asteroid because of a 2004 study that predicted a 2.7% chance of the space rock hitting Earth when it passes within some 22,000 miles of the planet in April 2029. Later studies proved, however, that the asteroid poses no threat to Earth during that flyby, but astronomers continue to track the object since it will make another pass near Earth in 2036. ESA officials announced that its infrared Herschel Space Observatory has discovered that Apophis is about 1,000 feet wide, nearly 20% larger than a previous estimate. In addition to asteroid Apophis, astronomers regularly scan the night sky for asteroids that may pose a potential impact threat to Earth. At the ongoing CES show, with an app, a game, or a gadget, technology startups and major companies across all sectors are trying to tackle some of the thorniest problems in health and medicine. The Consumer Electronics Show is filled with gadgets to monitor fitness, detect problems, and find solutions to health issues ranging from obesity to diabetes to rare medical conditions. One trend is gamification, which uses a model from the video game industry to offer points and rewards to boost health and reduce costs. Other exhibitors at CES are showing exercise armbands and other gadgets to track heart rate and other factors, or real-time monitoring of blood sugar for persons with diabetes. Another firm showed a digital fork which monitors caloric intake and vibrates if its user is eating too much too fast. Now in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, having one of the hottest starts to a summer in recent memory, its residents are not the only ones struggling to cope with the heat. In the city's zoo, trainers are taking extra measures to make animals feel as comfortable as possible in the high temperatures. With daily temperatures reaching 40 degrees Celsius, the monkeys and chimps' menu favorite is the famous sacolé, a traditional Brazilian frozen ice cream. Neto, the Siberian tiger, however, prefers to stick with his daily diet, which includes an extra cool whole chicken. With visitors around his cage, he hesitated to go after his prey, but soon devoured his food. When it comes to daily consumption, no one can beat Carla the elephant. Her maintenance involves 60 liters of water or fruit juicy daily, as well as regular showers to cool off. In the art scene, an exhibition of the memorable artifacts from the Titanic, the luxury passenger liner that sank on its maiden voyage 100 years ago, has opened at the former Expo Park in the Pudong district of Shanghai. The show features nearly 300 items recovered from the wreckage of the famous ship. Let's see some highlights in this report.
The porcelain, jewelry, and a pack of cards that passengers used on their final night aboard the Titanic all give visitors insight into the shipwreck a century ago. The nearly 300 items were selected from more than 5,000 artifacts retrieved during 8 recovery expeditions to the Titanic. Visitors can also see the actual window frames on the Titanic's cafe and even smell the perfume in some personal belongings.
I'm just impressed by the artifacts, by the original ones, which were brought from the bottom of the sea. I think it's quite interesting, because it was one of the most notorious accidents in the shipping history. So I think it's quite important also, like impact to European and American culture.
I think the personal belongings displayed put a very human face on the exhibition. The feeling of humanity, the feeling of compassion that passengers displayed towards one another regardless of social class.
I'll never let go. You may still remember this scene from the blockbuster movie Titanic, when Jack and Rose meet. Organizers say the design of the staircase was influenced by both the film and the actual staircase on the ship. To give visitors a closer connection to the events of a century ago, each ticket is printed with the name of one of the ship's passengers. Visitors can then find that name on the memorial wall inside the exhibition and learn more about who that person was and why he or she was aboard.
The clock here says 11:30 p.m., April 14th, just before. As we stand here, we are minutes from hitting the iceberg itself and sinking. The way the organization is, we want you to walk in the same shoes as the passengers that were on the Titanic and be in the grand staircase moments before tragedy and feel the apprehension that the passengers and crew are going to feel in the next few rooms, next few displays.
The exhibition has already attracted more than 25 million visitors around the globe in places like Australia, Thailand, and Singapore. Organizers say they expect some 150 to 200,000 visitors in Shanghai before the show closes on April the 30th. Song Jing, ICS for CCTV, Shanghai.
Still in the art scene, still images of carefree Marilyn Monroe smiling in the streets of New York in 1955, long thought to be lost by its original filmmaker Peter Mangone, were ready to be seen by the world on Thursday. The stills are part of 5.5 minutes of grainy 8mm footage that Mangone shot in 1955, when the 15-year-old skipped school every day to get a glimpse of his idol, who was staying at the Gladstone Hotel while taking classes at the Actors Studio. Today, both Monroe and Mangone are gone, but the film survived in a cardboard box, long thought to have been lost, and frames of it are now part of the exhibit Marilyn Monroe Rediscovered, the lost film of Peter Mangone in New York. James Danziger is the owner of the gallery hosting the exhibit and worked with Mangone until he passed away.
What makes them unique is that this was really, the most natural Marilyn Monroe. She wasn't in a movie, she wasn't acting, she liked children, and she had a connection to this guy that she wouldn't have had with an older person. So I think, what makes them unique is that you're really seeing Marilyn Monroe the person as opposed to Marilyn Monroe the actress. One of the things that surprises me in the pictures is how Marilyn Monroe was able to walk through the streets of Midtown Manhattan and be completely left alone. It shows what a different era it was in 1955, that people really respected a star's privacy.
The exhibit opens to the public on Friday, January 10th, and runs through February 9th. The photographs are limited edition prints and are for sale starting at $1,800 US. Don't go away, we'll be back for more.